having some type of physical difficulty.
Yes, sir, epididymitis.
How did that affect you?
My stomach and kidneys and one side swelled. That's terrible.
And you mentioned you'd had some difficulty with this for 10 years?
Yes, I've had that 10 years. And I've been to, I was in the VA hospital at Alexandria 3 times. I went to Dr. Lyle's specialist in Monroe, and he doctored me. I've still got it.
Is it continuous? Or
yes, sir, it's reoccurring.
Is it there all the time, or does it come and go?
It just comes and goes. I never know when I'm going to take a spell with it.
And how does it affect you when you take a spell with it?
Oh, I have pus on my kidneys. That's what started all off. And there's nothing I can do. I can go to bed and bathe in hot water. Sometimes I can't do that because I can't get out of bed.
It affects your physical strength? Or?
It just puts me down flat on my back and I can't turn over. I can't do anything.
And rather than that, with this, you haven't been able to work?
No, sir.
Sort of tell us about the things that led up to your coming into the hospital.
Oh, doctor, we were having family trouble. Her mother and folks lived on one side of us, and my mother and them lived on the other side. And we was right in the middle. And things just got, there was always gossip and first one thing and another, so we just decided to leave. And we closed the house up and we left and went to Bossier City. But in the meantime, I was down with epididymitis. I've had it for 10 years. And I take them spells and I can't turn over. It's just, I'm just bedridden. And that was another reason why we left. My wife got a job up there with the $9 store. And in 3 months' time, she had made assistant manager. And a year's time, she made manager. And I've just been following her around. But if she ever gets settled, and I don't think she is, not incredible.
What sort of symptoms did you have when you went into the hospital down there?
Oh, I got to where I couldn't sleep, I couldn't rest, I couldn't do anything. And I started cursing my wife, accusing her of all kind of things. It wasn't anything to do, it was just me. And I went to the hospital on my own. Nobody made me go. I went myself.
You couldn't sleep, you couldn't eat?
Sleep. I didn't walk the floor, but I had to stay up.
Did you find yourself worrying about things?
Yes, I worried. I always worry over the most simplest things.
What sort of things would you find yourself worrying about?
Well, my physical condition, for one thing, that's been, I think, the main thing. Just worrying that we're not being able to get well. I think that's what started all of it all.
Was this in relationship to the epididymitis? Or have there been other physical problems that you've had?
No, that's all. That epididymitis is all I've ever had. I didn't go to a doctor or nothing. I was in perfect health. Seemed like all of it has been, the worst of it has been within the last 2 years.
Now, were there other things that you found yourself worrying about before you went into the hospital in Shreveport?
None of any importance.
How was your spirits at that time?
My spirits has never been too low.
Didn't feel too blue or sad?
No, sir. I never thought about killing myself. No, sir. I'm not that bad.
You said you began to accuse your wife of things. Could you tell me about that?
I guess I just got all of it in my head. That's all I know. Because she's not running around. She never has. And I don't know what they can do. I just got off balance already.
Had you ever felt suspicious like that before?
No, sir.
Ever felt suspicious towards other people?
Oh, I've been saying I've always been afraid of big crowds. And like we are here, this doesn't bother me at all. But around big crowds, I don't know. I just feel out of place or something. But it has to be big crowds. But people that I know, I'm not that way about them.
Have you ever had the feeling that you weren't getting a fair deal, that people might not be treating you properly, or that sort of thing?
No, sir.
You mentioned that you found yourself being irritable, sort of yelling at your wife. Did you feel angry at that time?
I think, I don't know whether you'd call it angry or not. It seemed like everything just bored me. I don't know, I was just miserable. I think that's a good word, just miserable. I couldn't sleep and back.
You found yourself worrying about things.
And another thing, 2 years ago, I got down with my stomach. I started vomiting. I couldn't eat anything, and I went that way for the whole 2 years. And when I went to Sweetsport and started taking that nerve medicine, my stomach got all right, and now I can eat anything.
Had you felt nervous?
I think I've always been nervous a little bit, but
How'd you notice that?
I don't know. Just to pinpoint it.
How would you feel when you would recognize that you were nervous? How did being nervous affect you?
Oh, I've always had a nervous feeling. I just don't know how to put that.
Sort of shaky on the inside, or?
On the inside, I suppose that. But when I went to the hospital, I was shaking on the outside.